Hello there, my friends. Welcome back to End All Wars. Apparently, we have quite a following on this game, and I really do appreciate it. So, we are, of course, continuing as the Germans and trying to find a solution to win the war. Now, I think the first thing to do is send diplomats out immediately to try and get some support from the Ottomans, maybe even the Greeks. Somebody mentioned to me, because I know there's a big hatred between the Ottomans and the Greeks, but somebody mentioned to me that might not matter. If we get both on our side, it's really going to help us, and I think he's right. Now, we could do the Third Boer War. When Great Britain entered the Great War, it brought the Dominions into the war as well, including South Africa. A large number of the Boers, who had fought with the British a decade earlier, had ancestral ties with Germany. So we could try and start a Boer uprising, which would probably hurt the Brits. I think it's a little too early for that. And, let's see. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that either. So, for now, guys, I think the main focus is going to be basically just trying to build up our armies. We've got a few armies here that I want to actually add to desperately, and I want to show you guys them. But first, I don't think we're low on money. I don't see why we're not able to take that unit. Maybe there's just not any actual German elite infantry left right now, and that's not necessarily a good sign. Nonetheless, I sort of have an idea here, and I don't want to run too low on state funds. So let's go ahead, first of all, send our diplomats out. This is very important. And the diplomat we can send, I guess, to Greece, I guess. I'm going to trust this user. The Swiss will never join us. They're always neutral. So, and he actually made a good point, if not just to sort of make sure Greece doesn't join the war too early. That's obviously a good sort of way to go about this. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here, guys, at the actual map. We got a lot of great victories in the last two videos I've done, and I think we need to keep that up. But for now, on the Eastern Front, I'm just going to build a depot. That's going to be my main concern. We do have the Army Corps right here, and we actually know that this guy, Ruprecht, broke through, which I think is great, and I'm going to have him build a depot. So once again, we've gained ground, and I think at this point, the important thing after we've gained ground is to try and hold it as long as possible. The only reason I'm not going to attack with Joslas von Heringen is I think he needs to hold this area. I think it's a very easy area to break through, and in fact, I would even move him right there back to the city of Mulhouse. I think that's probably going to be very important. Now, one thing I wanted to do is, if you could see here, General Longwy, who's gotten excellent victories, doesn't seem to have enough men, and he's got more than enough command power to take on more men. So, we've got to go ahead and decide what we're going to do here. Where did Longwy go off to? Okay, so maybe we can merge these guys. 19% penalty. I think that's much better. And obviously we have taken the town of Longwy, so we just need to continue into France, guys. We've got to keep taking as much territory. I'm going to go ahead and try to cut off the enemy. So actually I'm going for war. I want to cut them off over here. It's going to take 11 days. Over here will take 22 days. And or we could actually build a depot. You know what? We're going to play it defensively this time. We're going to build a depot. We're not just going to attack madly across the front like Germany did in the first few months of the war. And 666, oh my god, this is an evil army. And of course, he's going to build a depot as well. The only exception is going to be our troops in Bulgaria, who we have to make sure keep attacking. Now, it looks like von Emmek is besieging this area still at Antwerp. So we've got to keep that going. And maybe even go ahead and attack this British force. So I'm going for it. I'm going to go on the offensive here, hoping that I get into a battle. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to stay on the defensive for now. I think we should keep everybody right where they are for now. I think we're doing okay. We do have to bring the main general here of the actual fight to Liège. So let's see if we can actually use rails to move him. Beautiful. Could also bring these airships in. Why not? And I think maybe even with the help of some trains, we can get them there much sooner. So beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the wonderful Serbian front. And over here, we've actually gotten our asses kicked badly. So I want to see if we can go ahead and build some depots nearby. But more importantly, we need to have a new tactic here. We're getting crushed. The only difference is we're taking Belgrade. So I'm going to keep on moving here. It's going to take us 1 day to get there with that army. I'm going to keep things how they are. Right now, though, we've got this Entente force that's actually attacking into our territory. And another concern is, of course, the Russians. The damn Russians. I think with units like this, we have to keep moving into Russia, cutting off their rail yards, making life more difficult for them, more stressful. I'm also going to go ahead and attack Lodz with a full attack with our Austro-Hungarian force, if we can. If not, I will besiege it from outside And this unit, I'm just going to keep them right here to besiege this city of Rzin. So I think the important thing is to take these cities. We've already taken Kielce, but the actual area is still owned by the Russians. So I'm going to move to the Vangarod fort. And hopefully while we're doing this, we're also taking land. You can see a lot of the Russians have been cut off, and I want to keep that going. I also want to continue the fight against the Russians. So any unit that can actually attack, we're putting them on full attack. As for this unit, no way. 1814, he needs to get out of here. It's a massive army. And at this point, I'm thinking we need to start moving back with some of our Austro-Hungarian troops. And let's take a look over here on the Eastern Front for the Germans. So it looks like von Hindenburg, despite being, a great general, he's lost a lot of men. We can see here. So I think Paul von Hindenburg needs to relax for a bit, maybe even get back to a more main city like Danzig, or Königsberg, excuse me. Danzig's over here. Shame on me. But basically, just to rest and recover. I think that's going to be the main thing we want to do with him. We'll even bring him back on train. It'll take him 1 day with his army, and hopefully they can get that strength back, because they used to be very strong. Now it's kind of like, meh, not too bad, but not really that impressive. So I think that's going to be it, guys. We'll end the turn. Ah, yes. People mentioned they wanted me to take over the African areas and also try and destroy the Brits on the sea. We should have U-boats at this point. Maybe not. Might have to wait a bit until we build some U-boats. But we also have an African theater here. We've got to find out how to get to the African theater to actually see if we can manipulate it just a little bit. And there we go. So I'm thinking over here in Togo, we're fighting the British. So maybe we should go send some units from Cameroon up to Togo. It's going to take 130 days, and on the way we're going to be attacking a British camp. We also have some units here from Ostafrika, and we're going to go over here to British Africa on a full attack, and hopefully we crush them, guys. Let's end the turn, hope for the best, and God saves a Kaiser. Alright, here we go. So resolution phase is taking a long time. Always a good sign. It usually means that big things are happening. And I'm hoping that we at least get some sort of a alliance this turn. I really want the Ottomans to join us. They should be joining us soon as long as we continue on this path. And that would obviously be an excellent ally to have right now against the enemy. So come on, let's conquer the world. But first, let's conquer Africa. Come on, men. We absolutely need to make more money, my friends. Let's hope the next turn brings us money. Or at least after the next turn we can apply for some money. We might have to take some bank loans, force some taxes on the people, but the war must continue. Das Krieg must continue, my friends. Alright, here we go, guys. So, Armée Française has arrived at Sommières. We've actually taken that area before, but we had to retreat, if you guys saw the first episode. And of course now, we just need to wait for these days to end, and obviously to end all wars, it takes quite a long time to go through every single day, to be quite honest. There's going to be some battles here we need to take a look at. Right away, we're having a major battle trying to retreat from this area, and of course, excuse me guys, it was an Austrian defeat. However, we basically lost the same amount of men, but look at the size of that Russian army. I estimated about 430,000, but 380, pretty damn nasty. Let's just hope that we're getting a lot of German recruits, eager German recruits, to basically join our army, and hopefully we're going to continue on the road to victory. For the Kaiser. I don't like that the Serbs are moving out of their territory. It's definitely a cause for concern. We might have to take some of these units on the Russian front and move them elsewhere. But so far, I think on the Russian front, we're doing a good job at cutting off the enemy. I wonder how much it's hurting them, though. I really hope that their cohesion is dropping like mad. We'll have to see, though. Alright, so far the front is quite calm. Remember, we're trying to build depots, guys. Get as many reinforcements as we can at this point, and especially after the last turn, which I'll try to put down below. There was so much bloodshed during that turn that I think the men are trying to avoid it, but we might not be able to avoid it here in Königsberg, because the Russians are going to keep moving. Despite doing tremendous damage to them last turn, they still have men. Here we go. Paul von Hindenburg versus the Russians, and it's a German victory, guys. We won. We lost hardly any men at all, and we nearly killed... Well, I would say we didn't nearly kill 9,000, but 8,353, pretty awesome. And we've beaten the Russians once again. East Prussia is German, and then there will be nothing to change this. So let's hope that the French actually try some attacks. I want to test out our defensive lines, obviously, see what we've got to offer, but it's going to be important to see what they have, and I'm sure the Russians have more men over here. I'm really, really hoping that we can hold them off from Königsberg, but it's going to be tough, I think, guys. This is going to be a battle for sure. And as for our Austrian lines, I don't know what to do about that. Hopefully we get some sort of event that gives us a large number of recruits, which I think does eventually happen. But for sure, some of our generals are getting actually bigger stacks. Their attack power is increasing. I can already see it, and that's definitely a good sign for us, but we need to keep those offensives up. Incredible. Look at Paul von Hindenburg. This is why this guy is a hero, guys. He won again. 4,510 Germans lost, but we killed 12,812 of these Russians, and they're going to have to keep moving back. Now, they have an army of 155,000, and over here, once again, it was an Austrian defeat, but we killed a ton of Russians. Nonetheless, we can't lose Baum Ermoli. He's a very important general, and quite a good one at that. And he's going to have to retreat, of course, but that's pretty good in terms of the kills. But if you look at the size of that army, 418,000, yeah, that army is huge. That's just a massive army. It almost shouldn't exist. And unfortunately, we lost a battle against the Japanese in the Eastern Pacific. Not good. Come on, men. It's a glory. It's for Deutschland. We can actually see a lot of Russians jumping through those gaps. And I wonder if we get to see the battles in East Africa this turn. I think we probably have to wait a turn, but that would be exciting for sure. Come on, boys. Look at all of those Russians. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I think it's good, though. I think our men on the line got some much-needed rest after all that bloodshed. And it looks like late September was pretty laid back on the front. There were some serious battles, but at least on the Western Front, things were pretty calm. All quiet on the Western Front, as they say. Worst pun ever. But basically, yeah, here we go. Oh, no, wait a minute. We're actually having a battle here on the Western Front, and it's a German victory, guys. This is a major German victory at the Battle of Dieppe. Remember von Hausen, 666? He lost 14,000 men. He killed 47,000 Frenchmen. Commanded by Marshal Joseph Joffre, who attacked our first hero in the first actual battle, which you guys should definitely take a look at in the first part of this series. And that is an unbelievable victory, guys. That is huge. 47,000 Frenchmen destroyed. Huge, guys. Absolutely massive. And that's a victory we won't soon forget. We definitely want to support this province in the coming turns to make sure that it's completely secured and that Marshal is completely obliterated. Alright, so at this point, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed, and I always like to finish this off with taking a look at the casualties. So let's take a look here. And so far, we've lost 460,000 men. We have 30,000 French prisoners, 1,200 Russian prisoners. We've killed 374,000 Western Entente, British, French, etc. Members, and French, of course. Did I say that? My goodness. And once again, we have also killed 212,000 Russians. which is pretty incredible, but we've lost 460,000 Central Powers, Germans, Austro-Hungarians. We're going to need to do something about this, but I think that we're off to a good start. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and as always, have an awesome day, my friends.